and we're a shopper research consultancy focusing on the convenience sector. So in essence, we're the voice of the shopper. So we speak to retailers at the shopper, specifically in the convenience wholesale sector, and the multiple as well too. And also we do that in over 8 European countries, including Australia, and the UK, and Ireland over the last number of years. So why and who are HIM? HIM are, as I said, a shopper consultancy looking at the convenience market. We speak to 100,000 shoppers per annum, which is across all channels. Again, working with the major retailers across Europe, and again, looking at developing relations between the shopper and the retailer themselves. So effectively, our research looks at how we monitor the shopper, what they're actually doing in shop, what actually makes them, drives them to store. Then we're looking at actually what they're doing in store, their behaviour and attitudes to categories and ranges, and then also understanding what retailer is actually performing better, and what retailer is actually looking at ways they can actually repeat shop and increase customer loyalty. How we differ from the likes of Kantar and other such research agencies, we look at the why as opposed to the what. So effectively we're more less quant-based, we're speaking to the shopper directly in terms of their behaviours and attitudes, understanding what's in the basket and what motivates them to shop within convenience. So from that we have a global support study, a research study encompassing 8 countries as I mentioned. Again, we're looking to develop, this is our 5th year running, and this includes 15 countries, including China next year, which Ireland's a part of. So again, Ireland specifically, looking at Ireland, we can see that the convenience customer is the most frequented visitor to in the European countries we study. So 80% of respondents said they visit a convenience store at least once in a month. Again, predominantly the shopper is an affluent female who works full time, and this is very high in terms of the Irish rate over European countries, with the European average slightly lower in terms of actually who actually turns up. There's a higher dwelling time. I guess respondents turn to convenience stores, and the average age is around about the 44 to 46 mark. What our research tells us that a lot of our shoppers are looking for quality of service as they walk into the store, whether it be friendly staff and actually good store layout. Again, Irish consumers very brand loyal, where they're actually the most highest of the European countries we look at. Value for money is key. 14% of actually our research just growth in that. Most convenience shoppers only spend about up to 5 minutes per store. So again, convenience and speed of shop is key. And also with product availability, our research tells us that 28% of respondents would not return to a store if they hadn't seen a product that they were looking for in store after 2 visits. Again, barriers are frequent in convenience stores. Convenience stores need to get right. Again, what's come up time and time again in our research in Ireland is actually the convenience and how expensive it is. 46% have said that convenience stores are more expensive. Again, we're looking at there's not enough healthier options. Health is the most key driver to store, but a lot of actual respondents are saying that there's not enough healthy solutions, or at least we're making do in terms of actually what health is. And again, promotions. One in four of our respondents have said that the promotions aren't relevant to them, which kind of matches up as in our typical customer is middle-aged female, works full time. A lot of the promotions aren't relevant to what they're looking for. Again, convenience is key, but convenience needs to be actually seen throughout. So a lot of our respondents are saying it's actually quite difficult to order. We've actually got to get to see what they want in a convenience store, and also the category range is quite low, as in there isn't enough inspiration, enough change in the actual sector, or what they've seen is very little. Again, the positives of the Irish store, friendly staff is key, and a lot of our respondents said that the actual going in the store and actually having that relationship with the store is very important. Again, services are quite strong as well too. Again, quality of products is quite true. 1 and 2 saying that they're actually quality is key. There are some negatives, however, and there is a lot of supermarket shopping going towards going to supermarkets rather than convenience stores, as they just believe that the product would be available there. Again, health is a huge problem where there's actually not enough healthy products in store, and again, promotions are just not relevant to the actual convenience shopper themselves. So we're seeing a change in actually how people shop in convenience. It's now moving from a food for now to food to go. a food for later as a meal for tonight, and food for tomorrow moving to a top-up. So the retailers need to recognise how our consumer is actually changing now and what to actually do to captivate that niche in the market. Health is one of the main themes that comes from our research, where visitors to the convenience store will actually look for a healthy product after the typical everyday items that people use in convenience, so like tobacco, newspapers, etc. Again, what's actually noticeable is actually across the broad Europe, fresh produce is actually improving in convenience stores, but there's not actual, Ireland is lagging behind the actual availability of fresh produce. And again, that goes to show in this graphic as well, we're about average in terms of actually expectation that actually expect healthy products within the store. So to really kind of understand where the convenience shopper is, you need to understand what actual their mission is and how they're evolving as a customer. Which to focus on for the actual retailer is what actually makes it right for them. So for instance, understanding the mission, is it a top-up, is it a stretch mission? Are people going to convenience stores to actually do a bigger shop than the traditional top-up mission, as they say? And understanding the occasions of what actually is bringing them to convenience shop. Again, looking at competition, look at actually not just competition within the convenience sector, but understanding the food service sector. They've kind of blurred the line essentially of a retailer and food service offering. And then kind of understanding that and then bringing to actually getting to the next level of a convenience shopper, to understanding what is actually the next movement. Now, they've come up with some ideas from research that actually has kind of shown true and actually what respondents are saying, but there's also a lot of kind of movement in the market where people are actually changing their offering. So say for instance, some of the examples there is Chopped, which you might be aware of, would actually be their health food to go kind of solution that's worked with the likes of forecourts such as Maxwell, and they're increasing that. That's showing that there's an opportunity there to actually really kind of push the concession health side of things too. But again, we're looking at small producers in the market now offering opportunities to convenience where they can actually give the consumer more offerings, which is what they're looking for from our research. And again, it was more of a handier offering in terms of actually food is so much more easily accessible now. On the convenience sector, we're battling against a real changing tide. So some of our research and what's been strong in Ireland is actually a forecourts to actually get what food to go. So for instance, the likes of Apple Green, Topaz, etc. have really kind of driven the actual, I guess, the movement around actually offering quality food to go, and they brought that to other places across Europe, namely the UK from Ireland. Again, but there is still room for improvement. So a lot of our respondents said there isn't enough actual seating opportunities available, there isn't enough Wi-Fi within these stores. Effectively what we're seeing from respondents is they want to see more of a destination store than what it's actually currently offering in convenience. So again, looking at the food go shopper, what we're seeing from our survey and what actually is happening in stores, actually very much a blurred line between what people are using convenience stores for. So people are going for breakfast, going for lunch, going for dinner, but the offering isn't there. So there's an absolute opportunity to see what we can actually develop from that. So actually offering, so whether it be through merchandising or promotion, to actually show that this is actually a full-grown solution that you can actually make store loyalists from developing that constant offering that fits into their busy lives, and also moving towards how our respondents are looking more at technology and understanding that technology is a huge part of their life, to actually make food accessible, to actually make it more, customized effectively is what our people are hoping to see in the future from convenience stores in Ireland. Again, a key part of the convenience shopper mission, how it's actually brought into the evening meal, is the meal for tonight and that front. And again, a lot of people are just looking for convenience. 29% of our respondents said that the evening meal itself, the minimum preparation time is key for them, and it reduces time. But again, the health aspect and the quality aspect is what they're looking for. Unfortunately, it's not there. The same again, a good example of another where even a small amount of cooking time obviously broadens out that offering, which also in turn means that we can look at solutions within the evening meal sector. So again, we're looking at using competitive against the home delivery stuff. You see some examples which Hello Fresh, Deliveroo and Just Eat are just looking at kind of where we can actually tap into that market. So the main drive for them is less convenience. So what we're now looking at is actually offering a quick convenience solution that actually works, is actually ready for a convenience shopper. it more easier. It's looking at solution-led, as in giving them an opportunity to advertise other products, actually making that more of a captivating thing. Reorganizing your store to actually be inspirational to all people, or inspirational to actually shop for other people. Say, for instance, a lot of the convenience stores are moving into kind of targeting millennials and offering new kind of drink solution, things like that. So there's a lot more kind of movement of actually broadening the horizons, actually shops and convenience, and also examining together brands. A lot of what works both in terms of category and also with actually what are we offering. Like a Subway offering is actually what is more demand of for convenience customers. So it's an opportunity to understand that in greater detail and also to give that solution to the shoppers of convenience. So that's a snapshot of what we do. I don't know if there's any questions or time for questions.
Could you elaborate a little bit about the blurring of the lines when it comes to the breakfast occasion or breakfast products?
So when I say blurring of the lines, it means that there's actually a breakfast to go option, actually just like a coffee to go option. So actually broadening out what that actually means. So offering quality solutions to that. So if you look at, say, for instance, you might be healthily eating breakfast like at certain times of the day, and then maybe not so healthy options, actually giving that broad range of options, which our respondents said that they haven't had enough. So if I'm going shopping in convenience has only got a limited selection, so it's actually giving that broader. So when I want to indulge and be a little bit less healthy, I have that option at one stop.